Hello, welcome to another video.
Hiya.
Been a bit of a delay, primarily because we've been on holiday. We've been up to Scotland for a little while, right up at the top end place called Dougie, which is above the Black Isle, sort of on the way to John O'Groats. So that's delayed everything. The other thing is we've had some work done on the cabin. We've had a window, an opening window fitted, and we've had some work done to the roof. There was a little bit of an issue with the roof, so we've had that sorted, which has meant the cabin's been in a bit of sort of had to move stuff and what have you. So that's where the delay has been. So what we've got today is me and Alex played a game a little while ago using Iron Cross rules, and it's a late war Eastern Front sort of Hungary based scenario using 6mm stuff. So the vehicles we tend to use are GHQ, and the figures are mainly Adler, which are really nice. They're a little bit overscale, but they're quite nice. Buildings, I think the majority are timecast. They use their road system and the field system. So that's what you're going to be looking at. The way we've done it, I think it only lasted 5 turns. So we've basically got the Russians trying to capture a Hungarian town, units of the 4th SS Panzer Corps defending, as I've said, using Iron Cross rules, which are, how would I describe them? They're fast play, they're not overly complicated, and they give quite a sort of quick, enjoyable game, don't they?
It was a good game.
I think that it depends what you want. Obviously, a lot of wargamers like tons of detail in, which is great. I like that as well. But I think you've got to try and get the happy balance between detail and playability. And if the amount of detail affects the playability, that's not always a good thing. But we'll play both ends of the spectrum. So that's what we've got. So the way we've done it, we've taken some still photographs during each turn, and then at the end of the turn, we've done like a flyover with a camera over the table, and there's obviously some narration on it just to let you go. So it's not a full video of the game. We played it over a few days, didn't we? Sort of after in the evenings. So that's what we've got. So we'll go down, we'll have a look at that now and see what you think. Right, so this is the table. You can obviously see this village town in the centre. That's what the Germans are trying to hold on to. So as you look at the picture, to the left-hand side is where the Germans are. The Russians are coming in from the right-hand side. Buildings-wise, the majority of the buildings are timecast, as are the latex rubber fields and the little road system. They produce really, really nice stuff. It's always high quality, and would certainly recommend them as a company to deal with. So basically what we had, as I've said, Russians coming on. I played the Russians coming on from the right hand side, that road, trying to obviously capture the town. This is what happened initially. Panther 514 causing awful damage to my column, and this is an overview at the end of turn 1. So that's what we've got on the little markers are showing if they've activated. The red dice are the sort of the suppression points. You can see I was coming on hopefully well. Managed to get some vehicles there. However, that Panther over to the left was causing massive problems, as was the one in the wood on the hill in the centre of the board. Turn 2, again, me getting pasted. Really difficult when you're crossing relatively open terrain, and there's an opposition dug in. It's just you need a massive numbers majority to do anything. You can see Alex there, I've inflicted a little few points of suppression on his troops there. So that was the end of that turn. Right, and some views of the next turn coming up. You can see I'm getting closer to that hill. However, I'm picking up loads and loads of suppression. And obviously once the suppression gets full, you lose the stand. Alex was well dug in the village. T-34s were getting lost left, right and centre. And this is a view at the end of this turn. So you can see I managed to get a bit across that ploughed field, and we're advancing at a reasonable pace. But at this stage I was just feeling that the numbers weren't with me, and it wasn't going to be a great day. And that's the Panther causing the damage. Right, so on to the next turn. You can see there's mortars at the bottom of the screen there, which are quite effective. Pushing up onto the hill, we've pushed some Alex troops back into that gully. You can see he pulled his Panther back. Not going particularly well in the town, and obviously just losing vehicles left, right and centre. So this is an overview at the end of the turn. As I've already said, not a good day, and although I have pushed them back, very, very unlikely that we're going to capture any of the town at this stage. I need a massive reinforcement. So coming up to the next turn, which was the last one, we were finished it. Had a bit of luck there, eventually knocked Panther 514 out, hurrah! Got some vehicles into the hill, got some troops into the hill, but there was no progress in the centre of the board. And as you can see, going over here, I've basically just run out of troops. That's where I knocked the Panther out. And virtually nothing left up this end. He was in the gully, nothing left to exploit with. And that was about it. Right, so there we are. Really good game.
Yeah, it was really good.
There's no way the Russians were going to, obviously, as in actuality, if you're attacking dug-in troops, you need a fairly big numbers majority. It's always difficult. I think the units, although we use their point system, which I don't tend to like to use, it was always going to be hard going for the Russians, and they got a bit of a smacking off the Germans, didn't they?
Yeah,
so, but a good game, enjoyable.
Yeah,
as we've said, it's really quick to play, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's quite straightforward, and I think it runs along similar lines. 7 Days to the River Rhine. It's all basically the same system, but it does work quite well.
Yeah.
Certainly worth having a look at. And I think they're very, very reasonably priced. Great Escape Games publish them, and they're very, very reasonably priced. Definitely worth having a look at. So what's been going on? The other thing is we're just about set up for the 3D printer. So we've bought an Anycubic Photo Mono M7 Max, if anyone knows what that is. So we've bought that. It's a resin printer. We've also picked up a washing and curing station. Some other bits and bobs.
That's probably going to be my go-to.
Yeah.
So I've been looking at different videos on YouTube about them,
Setting them up.
And if anybody's got a 3D print out there, any advice in the comments would be extremely helpful. We've got a mate coming around sometime next week.
He's got one, hasn't he?
Yeah,
just to sort of give
to
a run
set
through.
it up, it's about time. I've been badgering my dad for a 3D printer for a few years now, and finally we've got it sorted. And I think certainly looking recently, the Bob Mac 3D stuff, the vehicles, absolutely beautiful. We saw some at Salute doing with that that had been printed in resin, absolutely phenomenal. And you can just buy the file and you can print out as many as you need. So it's really, really sort of good on the pocket, isn't it? It is.
We've looked at the buildings as well. There's Sabotage 3D who did a lot of the Arnhem buildings for the Lardies when they played at the Hartenstein Hotel a couple of years ago, 18 months ago. They do buildings specifically for Arnhem and Oosterbeek, railings, excellent stuff, and obviously the files are really reasonably priced. So we're sort of thinking of getting maybe just 3 or 4 files, which is all you'd need, and you can print multiple buildings off. We're not gonna, I think certainly you don't really even need to cover a 6x4, do you? When it's dense terrain, urban terrain, you don't need that much. We've been working on the Arnhem stuff, haven't we? So that's progressing really well. I've just about finished the 3rd section, and then what we'll be doing is, or what I'll be doing is, we've got a small platoon headquarters, which is an officer, a sergeant. So they do Paul Hicks has sculpted with the Empress range, a really nice radio operator with the little chest-held wireless set. So I'll put that in, and then we've got the Kraken sniper pair. And then after that, we've been discussing it when we did the Kickstarter. I bought all the strange Jeeps, so the Signals Jeep and the ambulance Jeep and all the funny bits and bobs, and Alex has bought the recce ones. So we're probably going to do them together. Obviously, we're airbrush vehicles, so we'll get them built up, primed, and just do them all together. I picked up quite a nice book on British airborne Jeeps, just to get the insignia right and what have you. So that'll be coming up next. Next video, we took some footage and some stills from the Winter of '79 game at Border Eve in September. So that'll probably follow the same format as this. We'll do a little introduction and just do some narration over the top of the stills, and that's it. But what a canny time in Scotland. We've got to Culloden again. If you're up there, I think I've mentioned it before, if you're anywhere near Inverness and Culloden, the visitor centre is excellent. It's superb, really worth a visit. Although obviously it's very pro Jacobite when you go up there, which I found a little bit difficult to deal with, but never mind. But we had a really good time.
The battlefield as well. They've kept the battlefield as how it was, and they do tours around the battlefield.
Yeah, it is really good, and it's quite small, isn't it? It's not a big field. Anything else? Oh, when we were up in Dornoch, we went down on the beach, and there was they've got a sort of a volunteer lifeboat system there on the beach, and they were using what appeared to be an old BV-202, which the Army used, the Marines primarily used in the Falklands, which was the tracked articulated Swedish vehicle. It was obviously painted in jazzy colours, but it certainly looked, that was quite interesting, wasn't it? So they were using it to tour the lifeboat from the building across the dunes down to the sea.
We kind of stopped and was just staring for 5 minutes, and I think Mum wanted to continue on having a nice beach walk.
My wife wasn't that excited about it. So there we are. That's about it. As normal, any questions about the game, just shout up, and we'll do our best to answer them. So as I've said, next one coming up will be that little video on the game that we had at Border Eve, the Winter of '79 game, and we'll see you then.
See you next time.
Take care.